What has been the biggest challenge in my career and how did I deal with it? This is an interesting one. I've had a few challenges when it comes to my career. I mean, as a woman in mainly a man's world and living in a foreign country, so I've had a few challenges. But I think my main challenge, if you can call it that, is still ongoing. And let me explain it. For me to really fully explain what I mean, I have to tell you about myself. So bear with me and it will all become clear. My name is Angie Brown. I'm a singer and songwriter. I come from the UK. I have worked extensively on Italian television. I've had my own band and I've toured all over the world. I have worked with some amazing international artists such as Mariah Carey and Michael Bolton. I sang in front of the Pope at the Vatican. I've also sang on one of the most prestigious stages, which is the Theatre Scala of Milan. Now, I tell you all of this for a reason. Because there is another singer called Angie Brown. And she too is from the UK. Now, this lovely lady, she does house music. But a lot of people confuse me for her. And it is confusing and it can be annoying. She does house music and dance music. And she sells a lot of records and people know who she is. Me, on the other hand, people might not know who I am. And I think that the problem is more mine than it is hers because they will confuse me for her because she is more well known. Now, every now and again though, I have been known to do house music. People will call me in to do a session and I will go in and I will sing, I will do a dance track. One track that I did a few years ago, and now I'm not saying that it's her and she probably didn't even know, but one of her people, I don't know if it's manager, I don't know who, asked if I could not use my name on the track because she's the real Angie Brown. So, of course, I went and checked. I went and checked my birth certificate. And yep, there it was, Angie Brown. So I said, okay, so I'm the real Angie Brown too. The truth is true. I haven't sold records. I've sold records as a guest artist for other people, but I haven't sold records under my name. And that's true. I haven't. So I'm not known that way. I'm not famous that way. But it's not as if I've been singing in my mum's basement for 30 years and I haven't done anything. I'm someone that I've made a career out of music too. So when somebody says you're not the real Angie Brown, I say, I beg to differ and excuse you. I think I'm real too. Not unless they know something that I don't know. Am I made out of plastic? Am I a fake? I don't know. But I think I'm the real Angie Brown too. So no, it's just that it is a bit challenging. It is a bit frustrating. I'm proud of who I am and what I've done. I've been able to carve out a pretty respectful and decent career as Angie Brown. And I don't want anyone to undermine that by saying or suggesting that I'm not the real Angie Brown. I'm just as real as anybody else is. And so that probably is one of the most challenging things that I've had to face in my career.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
A personal dating experience that went wrong and how did I handle it? Let me think. Well, years ago when I was in London, I used to date this guy and we were pretty hot and heavy for a while. And then life got in the way and things happened and we lost touch of each other. Now, I personally believe that if it was meant to be, we wouldn't have lost touch, but we did. And I had moved on, and I assumed that he did too. And then I moved to Italy. So I was living in Italy for a while when a friend of mine contacted me to tell me that he was asking about me and that she had given him my number. Now, I did think, well, she could have asked me first before she gave it to him, but no worries, she gave my number. So after a while, he called me and he said that he wanted to come to visit. So we made arrangements and he came to visit me in Italy. Now, the first red flag was the fact that he kept on harping on about how expensive the ticket was from London to Milan. And that annoyed me because I didn't invite him. I didn't invite him anywhere. I was doing fine all by myself. I didn't need him to come and visit me. So him just keep on going on about it really got on my goat. So that was number one. So but we kind of hang out for a couple of days and he was supposed to spend a week. The days kind of went by and after about 2 or 3 days, he told me that he wanted to eat a certain dish and it was a rice dish. And he said that he would like to have that evening. So I said, okay. So I went to the shop on my own. He didn't accompany me because he was tired. Is that a red flag number 2? I don't know, you tell me. But he was tired, so I went to the shop and he didn't contribute towards the meal. Is that another red flag? You all tell me. So I went to the shop, I bought the meal. I didn't have a car back then, so I carried the bags home. I lived on the top floor of the building, so I had to schlep the bags all the way up to my apartment. And when I got there, I had to prepare the food, which he didn't help in any way. I cooked the food, which of course it didn't help in any way. And when the food was cooking and bubbling and the aromas were flowing over and it was just in the nostrils and the house smelled lovely with the food. When it was almost ready, he said to me, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'll share it out." And I remember thinking, that's weird. He didn't help me buy the food. He didn't help me carry the food. He didn't help me prepare the food or cook the food. So how come now he wants to share the food out? So he said, go to the dining room and wait and I'll bring the food out to you. So I thought, okay, I'm a little bit tired. It's about time he did something. So I went and I sat down and I waited the meal. When he brought the meal in, his plate was like Mount Everest. It was so piled up to the brim that he had a spoon and he had that spoon and he was pressing down the food because the food was brimming over and he was using the spoon to try to contain it in the bowl. And I thought, okay. And he brought in my food. I can't. When he brought in my food, and I swear to you, not an ounce of a lie, I had to strain my neck to peep into the plate to try and see where the food was. There were like 4 or 5 grains of rice just hanging out at the bottom of the plate. It had looked like, you know, when you're cooking and he must have used the spoon to share out the food and he must have placed the spoon in the plate and then he must have taken the spoon away and those 4 or 5 grains of rice had fallen off the spoon, had fallen into the plate, and that was my dinner. where's my dinner? He goes, there you go. I said, there you go what? There's nothing in this plate. And he said, what do you mean? I shared it out for you. I said, okay, I'm not going to be so bold as to ask for the meat that I bought. I'll let that go. But gravy? You mean you couldn't even put some gravy in there to let those 4 or 5 grains of rice swim around in it? Ooh, I'm getting hot just thinking about it. Even though it was some time ago, I'm getting hot just thinking about it. Can you imagine food that I bought from the shops, carried up the stairs, prepared and cooked, and he shared out and gave me 4 grains of rice? Now, I'm sure that some people might be thinking, well, maybe he was doing you a favor. Maybe he wanted you to eat less so that you could lose some weight. No, he was just craven. Now, I'm sure my Jamaican people, you know what I mean when I say that he was craven. I mean, how greedy do you have to be that you're there banging down your plate, but you can't even be bothered to put in some gravy onto mine? And no, I just can't. So after that, things just went downhill. I think we had about 3 or 4 days remaining together, and it was like the 3 or 4 longest days of my life. Everything that man did annoyed me. Everything. If I could hear that man breathing, it got on my nerves so much. If he spoke to me, just the sound of his voice just made me want to punch his lights out. He had this habit, especially in the morning, of using the bathroom with the door open. And when I could hear him use the bathroom, I just felt like screaming. Everything he did, I could hear him walking around my apartment, and I just felt like going nuts. The whole thing was a mess. It was awful. I just wanted this man to go. And there was a reason why we had lost sight of each other. There was a reason why our relationship didn't work. Now, usually I don't believe in reheated soup, but this time I went there, and that's what happened. I chose to ignore the red flags, but I will never settle. And although he wanted to carry on a relationship, it was never going to happen for me to be with someone who could even think that doing something like that was okay. Was never going to happen. Because at the end of the day, it was only food. Nothing major, right? But can you imagine if it was something a bit more serious, a bit more important, how he would have treated me, how he saw me, and the things that he would have done? So no, definitely a big no for me. No, thank you. When he got on that aeroplane and he took off, oh, I started to breathe again. Life was good again. He sent me a couple of messages and he tried to contact me, but no, thank you. I think I made it very clear from before he left my home that this was never going to happen again. And so, yes, that was one of a dating experience gone bad that I never forget. It has always been a good learning tool for me, because it always taught me what I know I can accept and what I know I cannot accept. And so, yes, that's how I handled it. I could have handled it better, but no, the fact that he was in my home and it wasn't good, it wasn't pretty. But yes, that was one of my dating experiences that I personally will never forget.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
It hasn't always been easy, but yes, I'm able to be confident in a world that doesn't promote plus size as a beauty standard. You know, there is a method to help people who have stage fright, and that is that when they get on stage, is to imagine the audience in their underwear. That way, it shows that everyone can be vulnerable, and so it makes the person who's on the stage feel a bit more secure and not alone in his fears. And that's how I see people, in the sense that we all have our struggles. Now, my struggle happens to be visible. You can see that I struggle with my weight. Everybody has their struggles, but a lot of people struggle. You don't know what it is. It's not visible. But just because I can't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. But in my mind, I don't see why I should feel insecure. I don't see why I should feel less than in front of someone who has their struggles too. It might be completely different. It might be less. It might be more, but it's still a struggle. So why should I feel inferior? And a lot of people kind of forget themselves, and they think, and they become the weight police, and they want to talk about your BMI, and they want to talk about this, and they want to talk about the foods you should eat, and they want to talk about the exercises that you should do, which is great. Every little bit of help, I'm fine with it. If I need it, I'll ask you. But a lot of people feel that they can, hide behind their computers and tell you about yourself. Well, let's discuss you. What about your struggles? Let's talk about it. Let me see if I can help you with your struggle. But a lot of people don't want to face their own, but they want to talk about yours. So that's why I personally don't feel inferior, and that's why I feel confident in myself. Why should I feel less than when you're struggling just as much as I am? And even though I might not see it, I know that you are, because we all have our struggles, and no one can tell me different. So no, that's how I personally am able to remain confident in a world that doesn't promote the plus size as a beauty standard. And that's fine. You are not a beauty standard, but the fact that you are so secure in your skin, the fact that you could not give a damn about anybody's opinion about you, somehow makes you attractive. And that confuses people. People are thinking, how can she be attractive when she's not a beauty standard? But my goodness, there's something about this person that I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. This is someone who's older. This is someone who's overweight. Why am I finding this person attractive? And they can't really answer it, and they don't really like it, and they would probably never admit it. But that's the way they feel. And when it comes to relationships, a lot of men have the idea that a plus size woman is going to be desperate, and she's going to be so happy to get some male attention, and she's going to be so happy to have a man in her life that they can kind of get away with anything. This is what I think. This is what I see. And it doesn't work like that. And sometimes it kind of throws them when they see that you're not insecure in the slightest, and you're not going to put up with crap. Absolutely not. And they're a little bit, not quite sure what to do. But yes, I do. I think that a lot of people think that plus size women are going to be desperate for attention. They're going to put up and settle for anything. And, that might be the case for some, but the majority of the plus size women that I know, that's not going to work ever.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
What I would tell a younger person who is struggling with their body image, who is struggling with their weight, I would tell them, you know what, go and look in the mirror. Go and look at yourself. Now put your weight aside. Forget about that for now. Are you a kind person? Are you a compassionate person? Are you a loving person? Are you a good person? If all of these things, the answer is yes, then why would you let your weight just outweigh and take away all of that? Because your weight is something that you can work on. It's not written in stone that you have to be overweight. You can lose the weight. Now, if you're not an empathetic person, that can be a problem, because it's something that you can't teach. I don't know how you can work on somebody to make them empathetic. Either you are or you're not. But if you're overweight, that is something that you can work on. So that is what I would say to somebody, a younger person who is struggling with their weight. Apart from the fact to go and seek therapy, because that is always a good thing, right? I would say, love yourself anyway. You're overweight, love yourself anyway. Whatever problem you have, love yourself anyway. And while you're loving yourself, love yourself enough to change what it is that you want to change. When I first got married, and my husband, he was romantic, and he wanted to take me out on this tram. And what they had done is convert an old tram into a moving restaurant. So he finally got a reservation, and I got on the tram. The only thing is that the tram was rather small, and of course they want to make it worth their while, so they crammed in as many tables as possible, so the moving space wasn't a lot. And I remember getting behind the table. It was like some kind of military maneuver. I had to move. I had to move parts of my body that I didn't know could even be lifted. And I had to move and wiggle my way in. And when I finally got behind the table, I wasn't even thinking about the food. I wasn't thinking about anything. All I was thinking, how am I going to get out of this trap? How am I going to get out of this? Because when I say I was wedged in, I was wedged in. The only way I know to keep my content relatable and authentic is to be myself and to be authentic. Because you viewers, you're not stupid. You can see when something's not real. You can see when it's pretense. You can see when somebody is pretending, oh, hi everybody, how about it? No, I don't do all of that, because if I'm in that mood, I might. If I'm annoyed, I'm annoyed. Whatever it is I'm feeling, I try to transmit. There are some times I look back on some of my videos and I can see that I'm really in a good mood and I'm happy. And there are other times when I'm not so happy. I'm not so full of joy, let's say. It is what it is. That's life. You can't always be 100% of anything. So yeah, I always try to be myself. I always try to be the authentic me. And I hope by doing that my viewers, the people who watch me, can appreciate it and accept me for who I am. Because that's the only way that for me is going to work, is if the people who see me like me for who I am, regardless, good or bad.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
The most surprising thing that I've found out about myself doing YouTube is how much I care about women's well-being. I didn't think I would, quite honestly. It wasn't really on my radar. It's not what I planned to do when I opened up this channel. But the more I spoke to people, the more interaction I had with others, I realized that it means a lot to me that women are safe, that women take care of their mental health, that women keep their self-esteem up, and that they're confident, and that they love themselves. And I am a little bit surprised, because that's not what my channel was about originally, but it's morphed into this thing where I really do care about women. Women who are in my situation, which is a woman of a certain age and of a certain weight. Because they are problems that arise that, of course, I know, because I deal with it too. I go through them too. I live it too. So it's an experience, I think, that we all can share together. So yes, that's something that has surprised me. But I'm proud of it. I'm happy, and I'm glad that my channel has morphed into this. I'm happy about it. I am.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
Now, this isn't exactly dating advice, but it's something that I disagree with, and that is, okay, I believe that if a guy invites you out on the first date, he should pay. Absolutely. If I went out with a gentleman and on the first date he expected me to put my hands in my purse, that would be the first and last date. That would be a game over. No, thank you, goodbye. But if you see this gentleman again, I don't think there's anything wrong in a woman offering to pay for things. I don't think a guy should have to pay for every single date. Why should he? At least offer to participate in the bill, offer to do something. But just because he's a guy and he takes you out, you just sit there looking pretty and you never offer, no, that's not, but that's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would at least offer. Now, if he says no and it's okay and he's all right with it and it doesn't bother him, that's fine. But no, I personally would like to offer. That's just me.
Believe me when I say there comes a time.
My channel is still growing and I don't have an enormous amount of engagement. People tend to write to me a lot, emails, and I do enjoy getting the odd email here and there. But some of the things that they say to me, like in the comments and in the messages, is to say they enjoy my videos, keep it up, how they appreciate my videos, and how they look forward to seeing more videos from me, and that they enjoy listening to me and they like the way I speak. I mean, those are the things that I kind of get. And I appreciate it. I love hearing from the viewers. I really enjoy reading comments. I try to answer every single comment that I get because I think that's important. Somebody takes the time out of their day to leave a message, to leave a comment. The least that I could do is to reply. So yes, that's something that it's really important to me. And I really do enjoy reading the comments from viewers. And when they say that they enjoy my videos, that means a lot to me because doing videos is something that is completely new to me. It's only this year that I started doing it and I really enjoy it. I really have fun editing. That's the best part for me. I enjoy editing more than I enjoy scripting the videos and sitting down and actually doing them. I just really enjoy it and I never thought that I would. So yes, to hear someone say that they appreciate my videos and things like that means a lot to me. And I appreciate every single person that has subscribed to my channel. Be kind to yourself always and to others. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos from this channel, check out these. Ciao.